G'day guys, and welcome back on the channel to part 2 of the G6 Mark II limited edition restoration. So in today's video, we're going to be cleaning up this interior, making it look like brand new again, because as you can see, all the carpets have stains, pretty much dirt in every single place you could imagine. But we're going to start with that interior and hopefully get it looking awesome again. So I thought today I would do a voiceover and just kind of explain to you guys the process of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And hopefully along the way you guys learn some tips and tricks about detailing that you can use on your own personal vehicles. We're starting off by cleaning out the boot area with the wheel kit and the spare wheel and just getting rid of all those big rubbish pieces like we did last video on the inside of the cabin before we get hands on with the vacuum. And as you can see, this is like a hot spot for the leaves to hang out and just kind of build heaps of dirt and mud there. So we're going to make sure these are nice and clean and the vacuum just gets most of that. But for those stained areas, we're going to have to get the pressure washer out. So we're just going to clean up the spare wheel first, just let that dry out. And then we're going to blast out those little areas and basically just wipe it down once it's all done. So that's it for the boot now. We just need to dress it a little bit later on. So we put the spare kit and wheel back in. Alright, now we're making our way to the inside of the cabin. And we're just going to start off with the air compressor and basically just blow out any loose dirt that's been hanging around in the carpets and any little crevices. So that for the next step, when we get an all-purpose cleaner and a steamer, it's a lot easier to just take that all off and lift it. And we're also just going to get rid of these bottom trim pieces and just clean out all the dirt in those areas as well. Alright, as you guys can see, we're going to be starting top down. We have our all-purpose cleaner there and a heated microfiber cloth. We're just going to be doing anything that's attached to the roof lining first, whilst avoiding providing direct steam or a lot of heat on the roof lining, just because if you do that, the adhesive is pretty weak and will start to fail, causing your roof lining to sag, and especially in Falcons or Commodores or any type of older car or car that has been sitting in the sun. Anyways, we finish the driver's side, finishing off that A-pillar, and then making our way over to the passenger side, where we ensure that we also do the Jesus handles and the back side of them, which is often a place that's forgotten. And when I was cleaning the passenger A-pillar, I was reminded that there is stickers on the windscreen, so I just got the plastic razor blade and tried to get that off. The one on the driver's side wasn't coming off, so I had to use a metal razor blade with some steam as lubrication to make sure we don't scratch the windscreen. And going forward, we continue to clean up the dash, which, as you can see in this clip, was pretty dirty and just changes completely different color once I give it a wipe over. Then the steering wheel and the steering column cover, ensuring that we get in between those indicators, because grime loves to hang out in between there. And this area, essentially behind the steering wheel where you have to turn it to clean it, I feel like this area is really what separates, the average person cleaning their car compared to a detailer. Like if you ever get your car detailed and this part behind isn't clean, I feel like you can pretty much safely assume that the rest of the detail wasn't done thoroughly, and there's a lot of missing spots to where if you look, behind a few things or like around a few things, you would definitely see a lot of grime still. And being so visible when turning, I think it's something that just can't be missed. Moving on, we are cleaning up the gear shifter here. I'm putting a bit of steam to it just to clean out some of those pores. I'll try and show you guys here, whilst trying not to rub too hard and take any of the material away. So we give the handbrake the same treatment and move on to the center console lid, which is absolutely caked. So I'm basically just going to clean this in the middle just to half it, so you guys can basically see the difference between what an oily and used one of these would look like compared to a brand new one. And from my reaction here, you can see that this center console lid was a lot dirtier than what it seemed. And in the cracks of the clean side, there's pretty much nothing in there. Whereas where you go to the dirty side, you can see there's just heaps of stuff in between all those cracks and just deeply embedded. I digress and reluctantly clean the rest of the center console lid and a few wipes and a bit of steam later, and wow, the difference between that compared to what it was is just, yeah. We next move into the doors and a few other bits in the car, which there's really not much to comment on until we get to the pedals, which is always satisfying, but the McCulloch steamer with a brush bit on the end makes good work of it. Bringing us to a new day where it was actually good weather outside and I got the chance to pressure wash the carpets and that back boot liner. To where now I'm basically just going to hit it with the brush and agitate all the loose dirt and extract it. What I generally do for carpets, I'll clean the backside for one pass and I'll do the front side for two passes, and depending how dirty it is, I'll have to do it, a few more times, but luckily for me these weren't too bad. Until we got to the driver's floor mat. But with a little bit of elbow grease and a cheeky slap or two, they came out great. And can't forget about the boot lining, which was a little bit more time consuming, but we got there. And you really wouldn't expect it, but this is what came out of those floor mats and that boot lining. Now, cleaning the interior carpets is probably one of the most time consuming things, but it has to be done, and it really does change the appearance of a car once it is done well. As you can see, there's a few stains in the backseat area. And my reasoning for doing the carpets before the seats here is that knowing that there's a lot of stains and I'm going to have to agitate it with the drill brush, I know some of that's going to flick up and spray onto the seats, so I thought I'd just get the carpet out of the way so I don't have to do a job twice. And the other side only had one small stain, so we made quick work of that little one. And then we get this lint tool that essentially just grabs all the loose hairs, dog hairs, whatever it may be, and just make sure that's clean. And at the end, once we complete everything, we'll give the carpets another vacuum because it's just bound to get more little bits, as you go inside and outside the car. But yeah, we'll make our way to the front and see how bad those carpets are. See, there's good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little stains, maybe even 10. How good is that? Look, mate, if you ask me, it doesn't really get better than that. Who doesn't like cleaning the exact same thing multiple times? Anyways, just have a look how much dirt and crap is coming out of this carpet. Obviously no challenge to a veteran like myself, so we give it the brush 9000 and start cleaning up these seats. Beginning with this leather soap, spraying it very generously before we give it the good old drill brush, but instead of that harder bristle, we're going to be using these wide bristles, which is a little bit softer and not going to damage the leather. And we're going to use a hot microfiber towel just to get rid of any leftover bacteria or anything that's still going to be on it, and to wipe down all that stuff that we have loosened up. And we're going to rejuvenate the leather with some Chemical Guys leather conditioner, just putting little bits on each section there and wiping it in. Ideally, clean leather is matte, not shiny, contrary to what most people might think. And it's essentially the same process for all the other seats in the car, except for I'm being selective where I decide to use my bristle gun, only using it in places where there's a lot of dirt and I can tell it needs it, as the hot microfiber towel and leather cleaner should do the job. And we can't forget about the steering wheel, which, fun fact, the G6 was the only car to have a fully leather steering wheel, whereas the XR6s, XR6 turbos, whatever it is, G6E, they all have that perforated leather on those side bits, kind of like the gear shifter, which definitely looks better, but is a lot harder to maintain as those pores are going to get your hand oils and all types of stuff in them. And we're just going to buff off all that conditioner and just flatten it out just to rejuvenate that leather once again, and obviously to make sure that it's not slippery at all, the steering wheel, because that could be very dangerous. At this stage, we've conditioned all the leathers and cleaned the interior. Now we have to dress it with a graphene ceramic coating. We're using Inside Job from Hybrid Solutions. This is going to give us some anti-static properties, and we're going to apply this on all our plastic and vinyls in the car and all those trim pieces that aren't leather essentially. And it's always satisfying seeing that ceramic coating or dressing go into that dashboard, knowing that you're approaching the finish line, getting that UV protection to make sure it doesn't fade over time. So we've time traveled to the future and the whole interior has been ceramic coated, and I've also buffed off any high spots. The only thing that's left is to clean up the glass and put everything back essentially where it was. So we clean up all the glass using one damp microfiber cloth that has the glass cleaner on it, and wipe it down with a waffle weave towel, which removes any glass streaks. And last tip, for those side windows, you just want to take them down a little bit and clean up that edge that sits on the window seal. All that's left is to put on that rear seat, trim pieces, floor mats, and the boot liner. And I want you guys down in the comments to let me know how it came out. Okay, after a lot of hard work, the interior is now clean. We are running out of daylight, and I know that the next bit of weather for the rest of the week is pretty much just rain, so not going to be able to do the exterior too much. But today I'm just going to try and give it a pressure wash. Maybe if I get time, clean the wheels as well. And that'll probably be the end for this video because I've been doing that interior for ages. First thing is first, I have been dying to get rid of some of these stickers that are around the car. Like what is that? So let's do that first with a bit of steam and a plastic razor blade. Hopefully you guys can see, just gave it a good pressure wash. Paint is actually really good. It's just this bonnet has heaps of little stone chips everywhere. Other than that, actually looks really good. But that is going to conclude for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. I reckon it was a pretty good transformation. Next episode, I think we'll be getting some parts for it and just making it a little bit more refined. I think I'll leave the full detail for another video because I know that's going to come out very nice with a new set of tires as well. So that's going to be it for today's video. Make sure to like if you did, dislike if you didn't, and subscribe like always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.